time for some more thrillers. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got for you Thriller Recommendations Part 3. If you have not seen the first two, we will have those linked down below so you can check them out. There is no relevance in terms of order. They're just different books throughout every one. We've got 6 in this one, and we will have these all linked down below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to the list. Alright, so I have talked about these books before, but I like to pretty much sometimes just make it its own type of video, so that way if somebody's wanting some recommendations, I usually toss these in here. So I have talked about these books before, and I have rated these books before for you guys on this channel, and these are in no particular order. I don't have these set in least favorite to favorite. It's just these 6. So let's get started with the first one, and it's Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapena. This book I gave 5 stars. This book was phenomenal. If you've seen the movie Knives Out, it's kind of got those vibes with it. Parents get killed and all the kids are accused of being the ones who murdered them, and you're following a couple of different perspectives, and it's a weird story, and I think it's very well written, and it's just a really cool book in general. I've read a lot of Shari Lapena, and all of them are generally pretty solid. So this book I was not surprised to be, honestly, this is probably my favorite Shari Lapena book that I've read so far. So yeah, very solid book, really enjoyable. And it gets going, and it gets going fast. So there you have Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapena. Alright, the next one up is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This was the first book that I've read by her, and I thought it was really good. I believe I gave it 4 stars. It could have been 4.5. Also check out Goodreads, because that'll have more accurate star ratings down below. I did this as a winter reading book, obviously because I wanted the winter stuff. We've made winter book recommendations, and this one I think made the list. It was a really solid book, had some really weird parts in it. This man and woman kind of take refuge in this church kind of building, and you find out the guy's got this problem where you can't recognize a face. He can know who it is, but he can't recognize who the person is. So he's got that problem going on. Wife is just kind of weird. He's had a bad past with an ex or something like that. So lots of twists, lots of turns, and you could definitely tell that they really hate each other kind of right off the bat. They're not a couple who gets along, and it kind of plays into the whole book, and I think it really works, and I really enjoyed it. So there you have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Alright, the next one up is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This book, for a lot of people, it's either you hate it or you love it. Danielle is someone who hated it, and I am someone who loved it. I thought the ending was really cool. It's about a girl who pretty much is leaving college to come home and gets a ride with a stranger, and you kind of figure out a whole lot of things about her and her family and who the stranger is, and I just thought it was really cool. I right off the bat kind of hated the boyfriend to begin with, so it's just a really cool book, and it's actually, to me, it works, and I actually really thought the ending was like a happy-ish ending. I think the ending is what really killed it for Danielle, because she really didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a very hit-or-miss book, and this one hit for me, so I think I gave it 4.5 stars or 5 stars. It's up there with Home Before Dark, also by Riley Sager. So, yeah, very good book. Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Alright, next up is from an author that not a lot of people really assume writes anything besides horror. But this book is a thriller book, and it actually was on, I think it was a finalist for the Goodreads Thriller Book of the Year. Didn't win. But that is Billy Summers by Stephen King. This book was his 2021 release. I think he had 2. Yeah, Later was also by him, but that wasn't a thriller book. But this book, to me, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. At the time of reading it, I was like raving about this book. I said it's going to be in my top 10. But the more I kind of like pondered on it, I thought it's still a 5-star to me. I just don't like how political he keeps getting in the book. He's always bringing up someone, I'm not going to say who, but like, I don't really care for that. I don't want to keep hearing that over and over again in a Stephen King book. Like, I've read his books. He's usually notorious for getting political in some of his books, but this one, it just kind of like, it felt like not as necessary as he kept like playing off into it. But besides that, the whole rest of the book is like perfectly fine. Which I've not even said what this book is about. It's about an assassin named Billy Summers. He gets hired for a job and he gets pretty much double-crossed. And it's pretty much his story of trying to get back at the people who hired him and screwed him over. And he's got this like younger woman with him now. I don't remember if they are a love interest or not. I think she was like way too young. But it's a really cool book. I'm not going to say I was pissed with how it ended, but I kind of saw it happening. But that's all I'm going to say about that for this book. But really good book. Still 5 stars. Billy Summers by Stephen King. Alright, next one up is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This book, it was a 4-star. At the time when I read it, it really worked, and I thought it was pretty solid. I think I also heard that they're going to be doing this as a film, and I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing the teacher, Teddy, which I absolutely love that. Pretty much this teacher gets Teacher of the Year award, and like he like turns out to be like a weird psychopathic person. There's the teacher's perspective, and then there's a student perspective that we're following, and it like. The problem with this book is you can't like get too into it, otherwise it's going to spoil too much with this book. So I can't really say much more than that, and almost the same thing with the next book I'm going to talk about too. But this book I thought was really good, and it worked, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. So yeah, really good book. I think we did this as its own reading vlog, I believe, because I remember golfing while reading this book, and normally whenever we golfed when it was nicer outside, we would have a reading vlog for it. So I don't know, but if I did, then I talked about it more in that video, so check that out. If we can find it, we'll try and post it up here or put it in the description box. But yeah, pretty solid book, 4 stars. For Your Own Good, Samantha Downing. Alright, the last one I'm going to talk about is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I remember reading this book, and I always like messed up the name. So, but this is about a group of college girls that call themselves the Maidens, and pretty much what happens is a murder takes place. One of the girls like asks her aunt to come in, and they're like accusing the teacher. He's like a Greek mythology teacher. They're accusing him of being the one who committed the murder, and can't really say much more than that because it is a thriller book. You can't really spoil too much with it, so just know there's lots of twists, there's good turns, and I think it is actually a really good book. I think I gave it 4 stars or something like that, so worked for me. And yeah, there you have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. Alright guys, so that is Thriller Recommendations Part 3 and those 6 books. Again, we will have them linked down below. And if you have any thriller recommendations for me, make sure you let me know in the comment section. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Later.